Okay, so this time, International HRM, Global Talent Mobility in Overseas Government Partnership. Kasi ang Pilipinas, let's say Jollibee, nag-explore sa other country, mga BPOs and other government, and other private company. No? So even if we work in local or national government, HR today is influenced by international realities, migration, overseas employment, global standards, cross-border partnership, and international donor-supported programs. International human resource management and public administration means managing talent and capacity in ways that respond to global mobility and international collaboration. For the Philippines, global talent mobility is not abstract. It is visible in the brain drain, in health, IT, engineering, and even public administration expertise. So government agencies must therefore plan how to retain talent, build capability pipelines, and form partnership that strengthen local capacity rather than weaken it. Okay? So this topic also include overseas partnerships such as sister city programs, scholarship arrangement, twinning programs, international training, and technical assistance projects. So the key question is how can public sector HR ensures that these partnerships are fair, sustainable, and aligned with national development goals. I will now give the floor to our presenter to discuss international HRM in the public sector, explain how global mobility affects government workforce capacity, and share example of international partnership that support training, staffing, and organizational development. Please post your question again in the Zoom chat, and we will address them after the presentation. Take it away, Pa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Erica Brehente. The assigned topic to me is International HRM and Global Talent Management. First, let's define the International Human Resource Management or the IHRM. It is the management of people in organizations that operate in more than one country. It involves hiring, training, compensating, and managing employees from different cultures while following the labor laws and practices of each country. In simple terms, IHRM helps companies to manage the global workforce effectively by addressing the cultural differences and international policies, and also the global work environment. There are several responsibilities of international human resource experts within multinational corporation. First, is the talent management, including recruitment. It means finding and hiring the right people in different countries to make sure that the company gets skilled workers whenever they operate. Like for example, multinational IT company hire an employee from different country, like for example in India. Indian national or Indian IT professionals are globally known for their IT professional because they are um, kilala sila bilang adaptable and also cost-effective employee. Next is the expatriation and repatriation. Expatriation means sending employees from home country to another country. Example for this is a manager from the Philippines is being assigned to work in Singapore. This usually happens when a subsidiary company or the affiliate company overseas need a skilled worker or experienced worker or may expertise doon sa trabahong i-a-assign sa kanya doon abroad. Dito pagtapos naman ng assignment, mangyayari naman yung repatriation. After the assignment or may certain task lang siyang kailangan tapusin, like for example, may iti-train lang siyang tao, doon naman yung sa repatriation, yung bringing back the employee from home country when the assignment ends. The human resource helps the employee to prepare for the cultural differences, yung work adjustment, and also the travel arrangements, like yung mga travel documents nila, si HR yung nag-ayos nun. Kasi hindi ino-offer din to, ino-offer din siya, hindi lang siya basta-basta assignments, ino-offer din siya sa employee nila para ma-assign abroad. Next is naman yung training and development for the employees. IHRM ensures employees in all countries are trained properly. This helps employee to work well and understand their international environment. Yun nga, kailangan ding mag-provide ni international human resource management, ng cultural training and also the language training. Kasi if hindi, may possibilities na magfi-fail yung assignment nila kasi hindi sila makapag-adapt or makapag-adjust. Ang mangyayari nun, babalik na lang or magiging gastos lang din yun sa company. Also, kailangan din mag-provide ni company ng skills and development training, also the leadership training. Next is the compensation or the pay and the benefits. The management must decide on how much to pay the worker in different countries, what are the benefits to give, or how to handle the different cost of living abroad, like yung taxes, yung currency, yun nga, kino-consider din ni management kung ano yung mga dapat ibigay doon sa i-assign nilang employee abroad. Like, for example, yung leave naman natin dito is different from leave nung country na pag-a-assignan sa kanya. Mag-a-adjust ngayon si management, si management kay employee, like yung sahod niya, parehas yung trabaho niya dito, then parehas yung magiging trabaho niya doon. Ang kaibahan lang nun is tataas yung sahod niya kasi nga i-consider dapat ni management yung cost of living, yung cost of living doon, yung taxes and also the currency. Next is the difference between domestic human resource management and international human resource management. In domestic human resource management, it only focuses on managing employees within single country. It dealing with one set of laws, one culture, and simple work environment. In contrast naman, si IHRM, it manages employees across multiple countries, making more complex because it's more handle different cultures, legal system, labor markets, and the movement of employees between countries. While the HRM is limited yung local concerns niya. Si IHRM naman, kailangan niyang mag-adapt ng practices abroad o yung global conditions to ensure the effective management of international workforce. Like yung mga global training and development, yung katulad na lang yung sa pagpapadala abroad, kailangan meron ding international packages para dun sa employee na i-assign nila sa other country. Next is the activities and considerations that are distinct in IHRM. Yun nga yung legislation, culture, and expatriation, support, and acclimation. Sa pagpapadala kasi ng empleyado abroad, kailangan, kino-consider to ni management lang. Katulad nga yung pagpo-provide dapat ng language training kasi kung itong mga ito, like for sa expatriation, sa support and acclimation, kung mag-fail to, magiging sanhi lang to ng cost nila kasi kung mag-fail to, mababalik lang yung empleyado nila sa parent company o sa home country kasi hindi nagampanan ng maayos kasi si management nagkulang din siya ng support dun kay employee. Like, kunwari, hindi niya na provide ng cultural training or ng language training. Ang mafe-feel lang ni nun, hindi siya magiging komportable sa trabaho. Like, for example, kasama pa yung pamilya. Sa pamilya naman, kung hindi i-assist ni management yung pamilya niya doon, mahihirapan sila at magde-decide lang tong bumalik sa atin or sa home country niya. Next is naman yung main objective of human resource management. First objective is the personal. Personal objective, this focus on helping employees to grow and feel satisfied at work. The human resource wants employee to be happy, motivated, and able to achieve their goals. They do it by giving recognition rewards, offering training and skills and development, providing fair salaries, and balancing work-life balance. Yun nga, katulad sa atin, di ba sa government naman, binibigyan tayo ng mga benefits like yung wellness leave, benefits yun sa atin kasi nagkakaroon tayo ng time to refresh our minds. Like yung sa naman, providing fair salaries. Yearly naman, nagkakaroon naman tayo ng increment or increase sa sweldo. Next is yung organizational objectives. These support the company's goal and ensure it succeeds. The HR help the company to get the right people and make sure that the business runs well. They do it by hiring qualified employees, supporting company growth, and improving productivity, making policy that helps the organization. Dito naman, yung paghahanap ng mga employee or yung support mismo ng organization sa employee, nakakatulong din to sa pagpapalakas palalo or pag-i-improve palalo ng organization. Next is yung functional objective. This focus on improving how department works together. HR makes sure that the company operations run smoothly. They do it by improving communications among employees, encouraging teamwork between department, and creative, efficient work processes. Dito pumapasok yung ano natin, yung mga team building or yung mga strat plans para magkaroon ng interactions lahat. Hindi naman kasi araw-araw makakausap mo sa opisina, dapat kailangan ano din, magkakaroon din kayo ng simple interactions to build yung trust sa isa't isa. Next is yung societal objective. This objective focuses on companies' responsibility to follow laws and act ethically for the good of employees and society. The HR makes sure that the company treats people fairly and follow the rules. It includes the following labor law, ensuring equal opportunities for everyone, giving fair and just compensation, and acting responsibly towards the society. Yun nga, sa societal naman, dito pino-provide yung karapatan ng mga ano din, karapatan na magiging yung mga empleyado to ensure na secure sila sa trabaho na ano sila kasi binibigay din naman nila yung best nila or nagtatrabaho din sila ng maayos. Dapat ang balik nun, tinatrato din sila ng tama ng kumpanya or ng organization. Next is the main objective of IHRM, the International Human Resource Management. International Human Resource Management have the same goals as regular HRM, but it deals with the employees working across different countries. Because in IHRM, it faces more challenges and it has needs more on the specific objectives. This objective focusing on the employees work successfully in other countries and ensuring the company follow the international rules. Yung first is yung hiring and keeping the right employee. Companies needs employee who have the right skills and global mindset, meaning they are willing and able to work for another country. It is important because they must handle international assignments or they help the company to achieve the global goals. Next is the training employees for global work. IHRM must train employees both technically and personally to prepare them for working in different culture. It includes technical training, interpersonal training, cross-cultural training, so that they understand the culture of the host country. To help also the employee to easily adjust to the new environment when they move abroad. Lastly is following international law. Following international law must make sure that the company follow the labor and the tax law for every country where it operates. It matter because to avoid the legal issues, to prevent the financial penalties, and also to ensure the responsible and lawful operations. Next is the different approaches of international human resource management. There are three approaches in IHRM. First is the decentralized approach. It is a centralized approach. It is commonly implemented from a company's main office location. All HR decisions are made at the company's main headquarters. The rules and the policies are the same for all branches around the world. Mas more flexible siya kasi mas less flexible siya kasi iisa lang yung laws na nagpapatakbo sa isang organization. Unlike dito kay decentralized approach, it is the managed on regional basis where policies and processes designed to accommodate local variation. Dito kay decentralized approach, HR decisions are made by each local branch or regional office. Policies can be adapted to local culture, laws, and needs. This give more flexibility to each other country. Yun nga, pwedeng dito sa decentralization, nagkakaroon ng adjustment. Like, kunwari sa isang country, kung saan siya naka-assign or kung saan nakalagay tong company na to, merong siyang adjustment na mangyayari. Like, kunwari, sa bansa natin, bawal yung gantong specific na kunwari yung child labor, pero sa bansang yun, pwede. Merong mga ganong instances kasi. Like, Sa third naman is the hybrid approach. It has elements of both centralized and decentralized HRM. A mix of centralized and decentralized methods. Headquarters sets general rules, but offices can make some decisions. Yun nga, parang combine siya ni centralized and decentralized. Pwedeng yung buong ano niya, yung buong management, iisa yung rules or yung mga policies, pero meron ding merong maliit na changes like yung sa policies katulad na lang na nag-a-adjust sa isang lugar kung saan to naka-reside. Next is the challenges of international human resource management. First is the failed expatriate assignment. Frequently, reference factor contributing to unsuccessful outcomes encompass culture shock, feeling of isolation, and household challenges. Yun nga, kung hindi na-handle ng maayos ni management yung mga pinapadala abroad, mas may mga possibilities talaga na mag-fail siya. Like, magiging ano lang to, magkukos lang siya ng pera sa sa management kung hindi sila nahahandle ng maayos. Next, yung ethical dilemmas. Conflict may arise between company, ethical standard, in its nation of origin and the law, and practices of host country. A conflict between companies, values, and laws or practices of another country. Next is navigating host countries' laws and practices. IHRM faces challenges of comprehending and adhering to a diverse labor and tax regulations of respective host country. It means each country has its own labor law and tax rules and work practices. Dito nga, yung parang yung kanina yung dun sa policies sa decentralized or sa mixed approach nung approaches ng IHRM, doon nagkakaroon ng adjustments kasi nga dito kailangan may kunari may isang bansa na kailangan mo talagang mag-adjust sa rules nyo, doon nangyayari yung sa decentralization or yung doon sa mixed approach. Sir, yung next chapter ko po is Public Sector and Human Resource Management Framework na po.
Okay, so international HRM in government includes managing workforce issues influenced by global labor markets, international standards, and cross-border collaboration. Let's say, for example, when nurses leave for overseas work, public hospitals experience staffing gaps that affect patient care. HR responses include retention incentives, better career pathways, and structured mentoring programs. Global talent mobility also affects IT and cybersecurity rules. No? A realistic example is a government agency losing skilled IT staff to private firm abroad due to higher salaries. No? HR solutions may involve non-monetary retention strategies such as scholarship bonds, flexible work arrangement, clear promotion paths, and mission-driven incentives aligned with public service. Overseas government partnership can provide training, funding, and technical expertise. For instance, a local government unit may partner with an international organizations for disaster risk reduction training. HR must ensure that learning is institutionalized through manuals, local trainers, and integration into SOPs. No? So capacity remains even after the project ends. Scholarship programs are another example. Agency may send staff to study abroad under grants. No? HR must manage return service agreements, no? Deployment plans, and reintegration so that graduates apply their learning where it is most needed rather than being reassigned to unrelated roles. No? International HRM also includes compliance with global labor and ethical standards. In government contracting and project works, let's say, for example, if an agency partners with foreign donors, reporting and integrity standards may be stricter. HR must strengthen ethics training, no, documentation discipline, and accountability mechanisms. Cultural competence matters in international projects. No? When agencies collaborate with foreign experts, misunderstanding can occur due to different communication norms or work style. So HR can address this by preparing staff through orientation or intercultural communication and clear rules definition. Talent mobility can also be leveraged positively through diaspora agreement or diaspora agreement. A practical example is inviting Filipino professionals abroad to contribute through short-term consultancies, no? Webinars, and mentoring programs. Government HR can institutionalize this through formal knowledge-sharing arrangement. And take note, international partnership must align with public interest. No, human resource should assist partnership using criteria like sustainability, skill transfer, equity, and relevance to development priorities. Done well, no? International HRM strengthens government capability. Done poorly, it become one-time exposure without lasting impact. Okay?